Time to see what the wizards are up to.
Hey everyone, nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. Oh, it's been a busy week. We have a few things to talk about today. And as always, please ask any questions that you have about anything, any project. Rob loves to answer questions about our Kickstarter projects in the comments. Let's start with, I guess, our giveaways. We run giveaways that we talk about on here. So I wanted to congratulate Wayne S. from Toronto. I love Toronto. It's a fun city. On winning Star Realms Frontiers from last week. Congratulations. And yeah, as a reminder, of course, we've said this before, but our contests are international. So you can enter from anywhere in the world. This week, we want to do something a little bit different. I don't even think I told Rob about this, but we wanted to do a coloring contest. We want to see those creativity skills. This is more about participation than who has the best picture. So we say coloring contest, but really it's about participation. You can color, your kids can color, and you can share your image on social media. You can tag us. The details will be posted on our social media, but you can tag us on Insta, Facebook, or Twitter with your beautiful colored in picture of our Hero Realms characters.
I think Daisy might want to participate in this one.
Yes, and I'm curious. I'm also going to be coloring one in here, but I'm not eligible to win. But I really do like to color. That's probably why we're doing a coloring contest. But let us know in the comments, what's your favorite character to play? Would love to hear it. You all know I like to play the wizard. And the prize for this contest is the base set and 5 character packs. So, which is awesome. If you don't have it, you can play, PvP and also use these with our cooperative expansions as well. And if you already have it, it makes an awesome present with the holidays coming up and stuff. So definitely participate. You'll see more on social media about that. I also wanted to just do a quick mention.
Yeah, so we got live streaming and Wednesday at 7 p.m. We're going to be doing Hero Realms every week. This week it's going to be Darwin. Next week we alternate. Since Hero Realms is still in beta, if you win, you'll win credits in Star Realms. So basically, if you beat us, you'll get Star Realms 100 credits in Star Realms. And then on Saturdays at 11 a.m., you usually be Darwin streaming Star Realms. So basically, you can catch Star Realms Saturday at 11 a.m. with Darwin, and Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, you can battle in Hero Realms, either myself or Darwin. So come play.
So did you say if they beat you in Hero Realms, they get Star Realms credits?
Yeah,
I was actually wondering that. So that's cool.
Yeah, so eventually you'll get Hero Realms gems, but basically that'll be when Hero Realms is fully released. But for now, if you win, beat us in either game, you're going to win credits in Star Realms. So get some extra credits.
That's fun.
Do some arena
Someday,
battles.
when one of you guys is sick, I'm going to live stream.
Nice.
Someday.
You don't have to wait for us to be sick. We can just have a Debbie week. You can just come in and battle.
Yeah, I'll let you guys know when I'm feeling. I need to practice a bit more with my wizard. Let's see. So yeah, and if you don't already subscribe, Wise Wizard Game is our Twitch channel. So if you subscribe there, you'll get the alerts when we go live. And we do sometimes host other streamers on there as well, meaning like they'll be streaming Star Realms or Hero Realms on their channel, and we host on our channel. So, which is great too. And we have at the link, the stream link there. Actually, the stream link isn't there, but maybe staff can post the stream link below. We have a schedule which shows other people's streaming schedules as well. So we're not the only ones that stream Star Realms and Hero Realms. So
we had some tournaments at Gen Con. So Gen Con was last weekend, and congratulations to our winners. Alex S won for Hero Realms on the Hero Realms Legend series. So he'll be on a Hero Realms card in the future. And we had a returning champion in Star Realms. ENT has won. I think this might be his third
I
Legend
know
win,
he's definitely on multiple
or
cards,
second,
so-
but I know he's won in Hero Realms as well. So Ian is a force to be reckoned with in the
Absolutely.
community. And
I like his hat.
congratulations.
Do you like his hat?
Yeah, nice, nicely done with the wizard pen there. It's a good pose. I like it. So congratulations to our winners from Gen Con.
Oh, we had these sweet play mats for prizes. I think we might have showed these, but these actually say top 8 on them. So people are really excited about
everybody who makes the top 8, and this wasn't just for the Gen Con event. We're going to use these for a while. So we're going to have these Legend Series top 8 playmats that you'll be able to win in Legend Series. And we're going to be running a digital Legend Series for Star Realms later on this year because we have the capacity to run tournaments in the Star Realms app. And if you get in the top 8 in that, we will mail you, physically mail you one of these playmats. So you'll be able to win them either at convention we're at or through the online one. And yeah, they are both sweet. And we'll look at the possibility of figuring out how to do a Hero Realms Legend Series online. We may wait for our tournament capacity to be up in the Hero Realms app, or maybe we'll do one using using a like challenge website or something to handle pairings. But either way, we're planning on doing a Star Realms one soon and a Hero Realms one a little bit further down the road.
Yeah, it was exciting. So there was a suggestion there for a librarian class. First, I read this like a class in librarians. What is that? Oh, a librarian class of character in Hero Realms.
Oh, yeah.
I think that could be pretty fun.
Yeah.
I like libraries and librarians. And Saf did post the link here below. Thank you for our stream schedule.
So we do have in the upcoming Kickstarter, we have an alchemist character class, which is while not a librarian, definitely a knowledge-based class. So that one's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's cool. And then the art looks really cool. So I don't have details yet to share, but we are going to be participating in the Steam Digital Tabletop Fest. So for people that like to play games on Steam during October 21st through the 26th is running a Tabletop Fest. We haven't historically participated in the Steam promotions, but we're trying to do more with COVID. We're not going to conventions, so we have a little bit more bandwidth to try out some of these other things. So we'll be doing live streams and maybe some other stuff. We'll be sharing once the events go live, because they part of the way that it works is they like you to promote things when the site is live and everything like that. So you'll hear more about that stuff later. And then not this weekend, but the following weekend, CJ and Connor will be on the road again. They were at Gen Con.
Going to Origins.
Origins in Columbus.
So we're going to have a bunch of events at Origins. We're going to have epic learn to play events. These are great because you get a free deck of cards when you play. So basically, we'll teach you how to play, and you'll leave with a deck of cards. So basically everything you need to play the game. So we'll have those. We've got 3 epic learn to play events, and then Friday at 11 a.m. we've got the Hero Realms Legend Series, and Saturday at 11 a.m. we have the Star Realms Legend Series. And again, if you win these tournaments, you'll become a card in the game, and if you get top 8, you get that sweet playmat. So if for those of you who are going to Origins, we've got some great events for you, and we won't be there with our large booth this year. We hope to, hopefully we will be back next year in full force. But we do have some tournaments going on, and for those of you who can't attend, as I said, later on we're going to have some a Star Realms Legend Series through the app. So that will be an awesome thing that everybody will be able to participate in. And of course, everybody who can also play Hero Realms, check out the new Hero Realms Digital through the beta. I know a ton of you have been playing a lot in there, and if you are not yet in the beta, we have late access. You can jump into Hero Realms Digital late back and get in there.
Yeah, and we did do an update for people that are playing the game this week. I think we have
Yep. So we
little summary here if you want to cover it.
so Hero Realms is in beta. So we did Hero Realms Alpha, refined it a lot, got it to a really good place, ran the Hero Realms digital Kickstarter, have pushed it out to people who've backed, and we have the beta going now, but we're continuing to make improvements on the app, and we're going to have regular updates. This yesterday we did an update where we fixed some issues. We had an issue with in an offline mode called arcade mode. Your character levels up over time. When your character got to max level, it was being deleted, and so obviously we don't want that. So now when your character gets to max level in arcade mode, you'll be able to keep playing it at max level. You could of course delete it if you want the slot to try a new character, but you can keep it and play at max level as long as you like. We have added a click through on the co-op intro screen. Basically, the screen was sort of popping up and disappearing too fast to read. So it looked cool for half a second, but now you have to click to get through it. So if you want to get through it fast, no problem, just click. If you want to sit there and read it, you can read it as long as you need. So we also had a refreshing issue with the lobby, fixes to overlays on wide screens, some graphical fixes, a kind of a big one in cooperative games. We had an issue where the player who basically one player on their turn will defeat the bad guy and both players win. And we had this weird issue where the player who was didn't win it wasn't the player who killed them. Would lose rank, and that's not supposed to happen. Obviously, you're killing them together. Both players have been contributing throughout. So that was that was fixed. So and some visual improvements like having the health values show better in the lobby, fixes to the experience point bar, those sorts of things. So a lot of little issues fixed, and we've got major stuff we're working on, like getting the live play. So right now you can do 48-hour games
for real-time play.
So real-time play is the current big thing that we're working on, and we have a big list of features, both large and small, and keep those bug reports coming as you're playing. If you run into any issues, hit that feedback button in the upper right-hand corner in the app, and and give us the feedback so we can get those things fixed up. But yeah, the app's looking really good, super addictive, and it's fun, really fun to play and level up your characters over time. So yeah, if you haven't checked it out, definitely do so. You can watch our stream, see what it looks like.
So Jennifer says librarian or nothing. Alchemist, no. It needs to be a librarian. So add that to the request. If anyone else has, and we did take feedback earlier in the cycle on what classes people were interested in, and we did make some changes based on the community feedback. So next time I'm not saying there's going to be a next time, but there'll probably be a next time when we're creating more classes, and we'll ask for input and feedback. So keep your suggestions coming. That's great. And Alex, yes, I'm happy that we brought back trophies too. So the winners, if you saw in the images of Alex and Ian, had trophies. Thanks to Mateo, who knew on our team, ordered up some trophies for us, and we will have trophies at Origins too. I know it's always super exciting to get a trophy when you win. So Alex is going to play the librarian. He is a librarian. He won the Legends tournament. So he could be a librarian, is what he's saying. I think if we made the class, he would be willing to be a model for it, I think is what he's saying. I might be misinterpreting, but hi, Dominica and Peter, Max. Peter's the designer sorcerer joining us here, and Alex. Joel's on here as well. Hey, Joel. Has anyone here ever read Alcatraz versus the Evil Librarians? That sounds like a very exciting book. I want to hear more about it. So tell us what it's about. So let's see. Back to our slides here. So actually, Peter joined us. We have some updates on Sorcerer. So
Sorcerer Endbringer, we've been working on getting the Endbringer box set up on Tabletop Simulator. There's a lot of content in there, so we're in the process of getting those cards made and put up, and the avatars and all the assets needed for that on Tabletop Simulator. Hope to have that up soon. Basically, we have all the final text and art and everything, so it's just a matter of getting those pieces put up onto simulator. So that'll be coming soon. And we've also have playtesting feedback. So when Endbringer's up, we'll want to get your feedback on that. But we've been getting your feedback on the character, lineage, and domain hacks. And and the feedback we've gotten the thing we got the most feedback on was Merlin. Merlin is very cool thematically. So basically, he's got fungus minions that he can summon up, and you can search your deck for them. When they die, they give you bonus effects, and then they go back into the deck. So you have this sort of recycling minion thing going on with Merlin, which is both thematically cool and mechanically cool in the game. However, we had an issue that basically the minions were they were all small intentionally, but we had an issue where they were a little bit too weak, especially in the late game when 2 of the battlefields had been conquered and you only had 1 battlefield left, and you can only have 4 minions in a location. And so we had issues where it just wasn't worth one of those minion spots to play your funguses in there, and that's a big bummer. So they were a little bit weak on their face, and especially weak in the late game. So basically, Merlin was not doing very well. So we needed to do a significant upgrade to Merlin, and Peter and I had sort of a big discussion of, okay, how can we make Merlin? How can we make this work without sort of changing the base premise of how this goes? And we ended up converting these from minions into forms. Now, forms you may be familiar with from the werewolf forms. With a form, you can play them either as a minion. So basically, they count as a minion when they're in your deck. So if you're searching you have a card that lets you search for a minion, then you can search up these guys and you can play them as minions, and they work normally that way. And you can also play them as an attachment. So if you have a minion that's out on the table, you can play one of these guys on top of them. And so thematically, when you're playing Merlin, your other minions are like are growing fungus. They're like growing mushrooms and stuff on their skin, and this gives them extra powers. And so this gets around the problem where you'd have too many. These guys were too weak for the minion spots. So basically, you can go ahead and put a big minion in the battlefield, and then you can add these funguses to it and make it more powerful. And when you do that, their attack and their essence get added just like any attachment to the minion that you're attaching them to. So that is a really awesome power boost for these. Also, the Wind Destroyed abilities were a little bit weak, where basically they counted the other fungus minions in the battlefield. So with this change, we've also changed it such that they basically count themselves. So when one of these cards is destroyed, you look at the other fungus minions that are in the battlefield and add 1 to the count. So basically, you'll get those you'll get effects even if it's the only card in that area when it goes. So that's a pretty nice increase. So sort of show you a couple of these guys. So as you can see, like for example, with a Spore Preserver, it used to be when it was destroyed, you weakened a minion for each other fungus minion you had. Now it's weaken a minion, then you get to weaken additional minions for each other fungus minion you've got. So you get that base effect. Same thing with the Spore Harmonizer. When the Spore Harmonizer dies, you're drawing a card, even if it's the only minion that was there. But if you have other minions, you can draw other fungus minions. You can draw more cards. So you can draw up to 4 with the Spore Harmonizer. And keep in mind, when you play one of these as an attachment on a minion, the minion that you play it on will become a fungus in addition to their other minion types. So they will also trigger the counts on these Wind Destroyed effects. So we've got some so there's really nice power upgrades to the Merlin deck, significantly. So it's this really significant increase. Now they may be that this is too much of a power increase. We've buffed Merlin in multiple areas because he was severely underperforming. So we've put up the new version of Merlin, and we would love to get playtest feedback on this. We want to make sure that we've gotten it to the right power level, and that we haven't overshot, or possibly it's not quite enough. I'm pretty confident this is going to get Merlin in either the right zone or a little bit too strong. May need to do a minor tweak to it, but that's where the play testing comes in. So we would love it if you guys would jump on Tabletop Simulator and play some games with Merlin and see how the new version feels.
Awesome. We had a couple questions, and just so that everyone knows, if I don't call on your question when you ask it, it's usually because you're asking about something that we're already planning to talk about. So I'm just kind of waiting. Oftentimes it's people asking about the Hero Realms Kickstarter. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. So there was a question about when will the new classes be coming out for Hero Realms. So we have a date in October.
So I believe it's October 26th. So last Tuesday in October, we're going to be starting the Hero Realms Kickstarter. So next month, you don't have long to wait.
Really excited
and
about this.
We've got 6 new character classes, a new deck, new dungeon adventure to play through, all kinds of awesome content for Hero Realms. So you will definitely want to check that out. And I have a feeling we're going to be unlocking a lot of stretch goals. So we'll have a lot of promo cards as well. So tons and tons of new content for Hero Realms.
And we have a landing page here at this URL, herorealms.com/dungeons. If you want to make sure you do not miss the Kickstarter, we're going to talk about it regularly here on the stream. If you're on our mailing list, you will definitely get information about it as well. I've asked our graphic design team to make some wallpaper and digital art pieces that we can share with you that I'll be sending out to the people on this mailing list. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, sign up on that mailing list. The art is just incredible. And we actually had a new piece of art to share today. So many of you participated in our summer role-playing game on Facebook, where we created the story as it went along, and we had Tanat with Sally the Salamander here. So this is art based on the lore that was created with you, the community. This also actually is based on someone who's been a huge contributor to the board game community, Stephen Bonacore. If anyone knows him, you may already recognize him. He actually was very inspiring to me when I first got into the board game industry.
I always suspected he had a little demon in him.
Yeah, he actually was very interested in being a demon. We're like, oh, we do actually have a demon that we need to work on some art for. But when I first got into the industry and I was sort of talking to different people about, how big are companies? How do people do all this stuff with such small teams? And they were like, oh, well, Stephen Bonacore runs his company by himself with just one person. And I was like, what? I need to meet this guy. And, and we have met him. We actually also met, he was at TotalCon as a guest of honor a couple of years ago. And we met up with him there too. We've seen him at multiple trade shows, but he's just contributed a ton to the industry. He has a he's done over the years. I think it's called the Business Insider, but it's basically a podcast on the board game, the business behind board games, which is really awesome. And he now he's retired from Stronghold, but he still goes to conventions. But he now is the podfather of gaming, not to be confused with Godfather of. Yeah, so he's the podfather of gaming. That's his new podcast. But yeah, he's a super nice guy, and he's always been like so helpful to everyone and anyone that's ever asked him. So I asked him for advice on various things over the years. But one thing I did want to comment on tonight is in working on this piece of art with the team, with the writers. So Ben Tchaikovsky, was the lead on putting this whole program together, where we started the story and the community helped choose, what class the person was going to be, and, all the different choices in the story as it went along. And we've actually asked Ben to compile it into a single, easy to read through story with all the details so that everyone can have that. So we will be sharing that, along with the piece of art. But one thing that came up in that, and I don't know if anyone was surprised when they saw this piece of art, is that the gender of Tanat was not defined when the story was written. It was intended that whoever was reading the story could choose what the gender is. And I have a book that I really love on Audible called Locked In, which was written similarly. He mentioned that as an example of John Scalzi, and the version that I've listened to on Audible is read by Will Wheaton. And I always assumed it was a male character, but they don't actually use gender specific terms. So there's a different, Danny was telling me there's a different version on Audible that's read by a woman, and people that listen to that version of the story, same exact words, always assume that the main character is female. So kind of interesting. And I really like that approach, that you can, read the story and hear about it, and, make your own decision on what you think about the person.
So we're going to make a second piece of art for this character. So we'll have a female version as well. So it'll be one of the many characters in the game where we have male and female versions.
Yeah. So I think that's really cool.
And we have a reminder, we've got the Star Realms box set. This is a really sweet box set, which has the base game of Star Realms and the Gambit set together with a nice board, places to store all your cards, a big rule book. This makes a great gift for someone who doesn't have Star Realms, and is a awesome travel box / deluxe copy to carry around for people who do play Star Realms. Can't hold everything like you do in a universal storage box, but you can make a really nice custom version. It's got room for multiple additional sets in there. That is coming this holiday season. Should be in stores in the November timeframe. So
I put that in there because I just wanted to give an update that it was supposed to leave China, and there's typhoon warnings. So there's always something in the logistics chain in the board game industry. So it's a little bit delayed, but we're still looking at November timeframe for it.
And speaking of Star Realms box sets, the work at the factory continues on the Star Realms Deluxe Nova collection. We are they're working on samples for the complete thing. So it's going to, including the score dials and the rules and the and of course we already have samples of all the cards, the tray that everything goes into, all the entire package. So we are working back and forth with the factory, and that got unfortunately delayed. It's taking them a little longer to get this sample than was expected, but we are in constant communication with them on it, and as soon as we have that physical version, we're gonna of course do an update and share it, and we'll show it here on the stream as well. So we can't wait to get that in hand. Hopefully it won't need any changes, but if it does need changes, we're gonna we'll take the time to do another pass with the factory and make sure we get everything perfect for the Deluxe Nova, because the whole point on that one is to make an incredibly beautiful set for you to play for many, many years to come.
Yeah, I can't wait to get that in my hands. So there's a little bit of a debate going on between Brain Games and Joel about what's better, reading or Audible. So, okay, one does not have to replace the other. I have so many books. There are books and board games stacked everywhere in this house. So, Audible you can listen to when you're driving. So I listen to it when I'm driving, when I'm traveling. So, we now have 2 kids out in Amherst. So that's between 1.5 and 2 hour drive. So when I drove out there, I listen to Audible. I also love listening to podcasts. Would love any suggestions on Audible books or podcasts, but don't worry, reading is not going anywhere, in my opinion. Joel, that's impressive that you can read really quickly. We have some questions. So on the Hero Realms Kickstarter, one question was, will Kapow add-ons be available? So generally in our Kickstarters, we have all of our Kickstarter exclusive products available as add-ons, and we have our base games available as add-ons. And we don't always have every single expansion. The product line that the Kickstarter is featuring, so in this case, in the Hero Realms physical Kickstarter, in the add-ons, you'll be able to add any Hero Realms expansion. Generally, we include all the products for the product that's being featured, but not our entire product line. That can be a little bit overwhelming for people. We also do include items that are harder to get in different regions, like sleeves and boxes and things like that.
But we usually don't have stuff that's not where we haven't fulfilled yet. So the Kapow has not yet fulfilled. So we usually don't have add-ons for that. It's possible we could, because obviously we'll fulfill Kapow well before we fulfill Hero Realms. But so yeah, we'll take a look at it. That's a good suggestion.
And someone asked about the pledge manager. So the reason why we haven't pushed out our pledge manager yet for Kapow is mainly, it doesn't have to do with the production of the game, but the shipping prices are extremely high, and it's hard to say what's going to happen with the shipping prices, but we're hoping that they're going to go down as it becomes more availability of containers. Right now, our shipping prices, so our cost to get things from China to the US, and we don't always print everything in China, but in this case, the game is going to be printed in China, have gone up 4 to 5 times what the cost has been historically. So it's a very, very significant price increase. And also just individual shipping to consumers as well. We have the VAT charges and all those things. So we want the cost to be as low as possible for the backers. So that's why we kind of said, let's take a pause, see what happens with this, because we do have to take those costs into account when we figure out what the shipping prices are going to be.
So I'm generally speaking on our Kickstarters, if we haven't sent out a pledge manager yet, we're waiting, and we're continuing to move forward with all production aspects. So that won't cause any delay in fulfillment. But we'll send out pledge managers a little closer to when when the product is ready to ship. Hopefully, allowing time for the shipping prices to go to a more normal zone.
Yeah, I hope so. And we hear, do not listen to the Game of Thrones audiobooks. Amazing, but they'll chop off about 3 years of your lifespan. I have thought about listening to those. You have a lot of series that you listen to, Rob, but we haven't done the Game of Thrones books yet. I think we've hit on everything. I'm going to quickly look through the comments and see if I missed any comments. But if anyone else has last questions, comments, it's so great to see everyone. I know, Vaughn, you commented. Nice to see you in here. Let me just take a look through. Do you have a timeline when you'll add the Lost Village, Ancestry, and Journeys cards to the card gallery? I do not, but we can discuss after this, and I can put it on the many lists of things that the graphic design team has on their plate. But so when we have some free time, that's something that they could work on. So it's not that we're not planning on doing it. We just, have a lot of various projects going on at the moment. So I don't have a timeline, but I will check and make sure that that is on their list of tasks, and eventually they will get to that. How long till I have a Silent Owl card? That's Alex who won. I think that's everything. So I still need to hear about this Alcatraz evil librarian book, but I can look that up on my own. Oh, we got a new comment. Will the story continue after Dungeons? I mean, the stories always continue.
So yeah, we're gonna have multiple storylines in the Hero Realms universe. We've got the Rune of Thandar series, which is a continuing storyline, and we've got new content coming for that. We're going to have a dungeon storyline. We're going to have various campaign experiences within the app, which will have their own storyline. So much like a role-playing game with a bunch of different modules that exist module series that exist out there, there'll be various stories in the Hero Realms universe that you'll be able to play characters through. So yeah, we'll have lots of play available, and these will be continuing stories. The general goal being that the story series will take a character to basically from starting to max level. So yes, we'll have more content down the road.
And Phillies, it sounds like maybe you came late to the stream. We do save all of the streams, which you probably know, but I'll just mention that if you miss or you're late for the stream, you can watch the replay on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So we can homebrew framework. This is a good question. Will there be a possible for a homebrew framework to be worked on for Hero Realm? So this has been something that we've talked about. Could we make it easier for people to make fan created content and have some of our art that's approved to be used in various ways? So let's talk a little bit more about it. Right now is a great time to ask these kind of questions that we've asked before and that we haven't been able to do because we are not traveling as much because of the COVID and conventions, and our youngest is still not vaccinated. So we have a little bit more time to work on some of these projects, and we're expanding our team over time as well. So I would be, we should talk more about that. It's something that's come up over and over the years, and there's challenges to it legally from our perspective when we get legal advice on how to go about it. But I think we should revisit that. So thanks for that suggestion. Oh, want to become famous?
More spam bots.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining. And
Thank
we
you.
will see you next Tuesday. Thanks.